Good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Your Kids podcast. Today we have with us Kathryn. Kathryn, introduce yourself.
Hi, like Miss J said, I'm Kathryn. I am a piano teacher and founder and owner of Intertidal Conservatory. That is an online music school.
Okay, all right. So walk us through it. How do we get on this journey? How do we get to owning a online music school?
That goes back a ways, actually. So first, a little bit, I was homeschooled all my life. I started playing piano at 4. With homeschooling, it was like my memories are a bit scattered in terms of everything. It was great. My siblings and I really enjoyed our experience. The memories start firming up around like 9th grade because, it's high school. You're preparing, like you're thinking of the future in college. And I remember around that time preparing for SAT and looking into what degree I wanted to go into. And I was surprised that there was a degree for teaching piano, which I was already doing a little bit anyway. So going into college and university, that was my major. I was a piano pedagogue. I went into piano teaching. And from there, I've just grown into really enjoying the journey of teaching music because I love seeing like the spark in students' eyes of like, they're like, oh, I can do that. I just wanted to try this out. And it doesn't matter the age. Everyone kind of has that even playing field of, I didn't know I could do that. So the biggest thing is, which leads me into Intertidal, is to make sure that they're getting a holistic approach to music because
Homeschool families. Homeschool Yo Kids Expo and Homeschool Beats Academy are teaming up to bring you a day of real support and real inspiration. Come explore curriculum and enrichment, meet trusted vendors, and connect with the homeschool community. And at our featured Expo stop, meet Homeschool Beats Academy and see how students ages 7 to 18 can create original music through beat making and production with parent-friendly guidance. Get dates and details at homeschoolyokidsexpo.com.
it was something that, quite frankly, I didn't know I was lacking until college. Because honestly, I was prepared for the performance part. That was not an issue. It was the book work of it that I had to really be prepared for, because I was surprised in class that it wasn't just because I was a homeschooler. It was any one of my classmates that they were like, oh, we didn't know. We did not know. So that's what I want to give to anyone who's coming in to music on the online platform. I want to make sure I'm filling the holes that most people don't know they even have when they're coming to learn music.
Okay. Look, tell me more, because one, you were homeschooled all the way through K through 12?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes.
And how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger siblings. All 3 of us were homeschooled. Yeah.
Okay. And what made your parents choose to homeschool you guys?
From what I understand, they just wanted us to have a very well-rounded education. And like I said, my memories of it are a little sporadic. One thing I do remember is that it was very structured. Even though we were homeschooled, my mom had us in uniforms. She had us have name tags. So even though we were at the kitchen table, that's what we were doing. When we went out,
Look, I heard the uniforms before. I ain't never heard about no name tags now. Okay, Mom.
And she was very, she wanted us to know, like, if you were outside of school, people would know you were in school. So once we got into middle school and high school, though, it got more structured. It was already structured, being that we didn't have any like games or devices or even watch TV until the weekends. And that was only for a couple of hours. But we didn't take breaks. We took birthday breaks, but we didn't have spring break. We didn't have summer break. I learned that in college. I'm like, oh, we don't just go all year. I also remember from ninth grade, my mom was like, we're doing great, but we need a diploma. We need a diploma. So we changed gears from, we were doing a program called SOS at the time. And then we went to a Becca. They have a
Homeschool families, are you ready to refresh your plans for the year? Join us at the Homeschool Your Kids Expo. Meet curriculum and enrichment vendors, discover new programs, and connect with a community that gets it, all in one place. Come with questions, leave with real options. Get event details and register now at homeschoolyourkidsexpo.com. That's homeschoolyourkidsexpo.com.
video program. So it was tough, and she was like, okay, we're changing schedules. We're getting up at 5 a.m. We're doing all of these things that we need to do. And we didn't go to bed till like 9 or 10 at night. It was a lot of work. And
We're doing work? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, it paid off because that I found was tougher. Not that college was ever easy. It was just the structure was so similar. The only difficult thing was, okay, I'm around other classmates other than my siblings. My siblings were my classmates. It was a bigger classroom. There were concepts that I had no idea about. And that's the music theory that I wasn't sure or had any idea about as well. But Abeka was a great program. I highly recommend it for any families. Like they missed nothing. They really didn't. So yeah, that was an interesting experience, and I'm grateful for it.
Nice. And of course, I have more questions because it's not often that I get, former homeschoolers up here. And, parents always want to know, like, first, definitely ones that are thinking about going into homeschooling. Or ones who are just starting out, they have a fear of messing up their kids or having their kids fall behind, or just, all the things that are outside of society where they just like, okay, if I don't send my child to the system, how are they going to be? And here you are, like, giving us like an insight that not only have you, you went to college, but you also started your own business. And let's not mention, tell people what this is in the corner over here from you teaching yourself Hebrew.
Oh,
straight homeschooler. Like that is how it should have clicked in when you said that. Like, oh yeah, she different. Okay. But yeah, so, parents always want to know like the end result. And I'm laughing at your mom because, one, the name tags, like I said, I've heard, like I've interviewed a mom who was like, oh yeah, girl, we got uniforms, everything. They got to get up, put these uniforms on, but I ain't never hear anybody talk about the name tags though. So she a first for that one. But I love that. And I love that you understand that the rigor that she offered and the structure that she offered prepared you.
yes.
Look, and you were overly prepared because you was like, oh, they got breaks? Y'all got breaks? Oh,
Yes.
y'all got breaks? I didn't know anything about this.
I really didn't. I really did not. But I also think for the parents who are homeschooling their kids, it always is going to come down to what you have your kids in and what do you guys value as a family. I don't know, or I don't think there's any wrong way of homeschooling. It just depends really on what you guys value and what you guys want to achieve. Because, like I said, looking back, what I found very fun was we weren't by ourselves. Like I said, I had my siblings, and we're close. We are still close. It's fun in terms of like going down memory lane and encountering any of our new like new life journey, you know, and then my friends that I've made in college. It's interesting seeing where we all come from is what I'm getting at, because when we were homeschooling, there were other homeschool groups that, you know, we went to. The 1 or 2 days that we were outside of like our home in terms of schooling, we were in different things. We were in music, and we were around other kids there as well. Now, as a pianist, that's naturally a solo gig,
Right.
But there were other things that we thoroughly enjoyed doing as well.
Your kid has music in them. They just need the right tools to let it out. Homeschool Beats Academy teaches kids ages 7 to 18 how to make real beats at home on their schedule, in their own style. No experience needed. Grab the complete First Beat Kit free at homebeatsacademy.com. That's homeschoolbeatsacademy.com.
So yeah, for families, like being involved in your community and having fun in the process, I think that's a big deal. I think I've heard all my life, like, homeschoolers, you know, we're, I'm trying to remember what it was used to be called. Like, they were always afraid we were antisocial. And that, for us, I don't think that was true at all. I think anyone in any circumstance can be social or antisocial. It depends on the person.
Yes, ma'am.
But being well-rounded in a social environment, it all just comes down to what you cultivate. It's like, how do you greet people? How do you meet them where they are? Be polite. Like, don't just go running around like scaring people, you know?
Right.
But like, and who knows, you know, if I would imagine if you're around and everyone's running around, run around. Like, that's like, that's
Get in
when
where you fit at.
Yeah, exactly. So I found that to be very helpful. Like I said, the only thing that I didn't see, or not even my mom saw, was the placement exam for in the music department. We were ready for the math. We were ready for the English. We were ready for the essay classes that we had to take. That wasn't the issue at all. Performing wasn't the issue. It was the things we didn't see because we didn't know.
Yes, because of course I know there's music programs in college, but to know that someone, you know, you went for the particular skill of pianoist, it's like I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I just thought, you know, musicians just grow up to be musicians. Like, well, they start when they're young, but typically around 4 or 5, and then they just keep going, and then they're professionals. I don't know. I didn't know college was a thing, like, for that. Like, I could see if you do have a teaching school, so I mean, I could see that. But yeah, no, I didn't. So, okay, what was it that was like, okay, no, this is, okay, I gotta do a little more studying. Like, what was it that said, oh, shucks, I didn't know this. I didn't know before. Was it the sheet music? Was it like, you know?
The sheet music was great. That just comes with learning music. What got me was, there are 3 fields. There was music history, there was music theory, and ear training. Music history wasn't too bad at all because, you know, when you're learning a piece, you typically look into the composer and how they lived, because you get a sense of, like, the feel of the piece and everything. But the music theory and the ear training was the biggest difficulty because, well, first let me explain what music theory even is, because I'm getting flashbacks. So music theory is essentially the study of how a piece is made and what goes into it. So a song can be written in a specific key. It's very much, the key is like a house. This is what's incorporated in your home versus what is incorporated in another person's home. Well, music's very similar. What are things that are very distinctive to the key versus what's distinctive to another key? I didn't know they were going to test us on that. I didn't know they were going to test us on like counting music. There were so many things that went into it. And the level of questions, I had no idea. And I think also, this might just be me as a person, but I'm going to attribute it to me as a person and homeschooling. I was stubborn. I literally sat in this placement exam, and the professor, who later became a professor for me in 3 of my classes, and she became someone I've stayed in contact with even after graduation.
Nice.
But she was the one that gave me my placement exam. She plopped this paper in front of me, and I literally stared at it. I'm like, I was the meme with question marks. I did not know what this was. I'm like, I thought I was just going to perform.
Oh my gosh.
And so I took it as best I could. And there was no judgment at all. She's like, okay, you're going to be in place in theory 1. I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, you're going to be in a classroom. We're going to go over all of these things here. This was just a placement, just an assessment, just to see how I can help you. And at first it terrified me, but for the first day of class, I'll always remember that she looked at 15 of us in the classroom, and she told us all, she's like, you are all on the same playing field. Those of you who've had theory or pre-theory, you're here because you need to be here. Those of you who have never had theory, you are here because you need to be here. No one's better or worse than the other. So she encouraged us to lean on each other, to lean on her. And what I found was, like in retrospect, out of all the people that were in that class who had like essentially pre-theory knowledge, and I was there with none, in that entire class, 3 of us graduated with a music degree.
Oh, wow. Out of the 15.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, as you grow, in college, you're supposed to experiment. You're supposed to be like, okay, this was the Weeder class. Like, this is the class that inspired me to go into something else. I say that because I was just so proud of, like, okay, something that I didn't know at all, it became one of my favorite concepts to learn. So, yeah, that was, I will say, for that class, I still remember I got out of that class with a C, and I was so proud of that C because I worked my butt off for that C.
It'd be like that. That's how statistics were for me. That's how I'm so proud, so proud. Exactly. Even though it took me twice, it took me 2 times to get that C, but I got it. But yes, no, okay, so. But, okay, do you feel like the level of structure that your mother had you with homeschooling allowed you to be able to adapt and learn quickly with the theory? Because it wasn't something that you had studied before.
I think so. I think it really did, because that is something I am very grateful for growing up, was even as kids, we all knew that whatever choice you make, you can make mistakes and you can change your mind, but it's a serious choice to make. So don't just make frivolous choices. So I went into music knowing this is something I want to do. This is something I'm truly passionate about and something I do want to share and learn to the best of my ability. And in that moment of like my first theory class, I I had a lot of moments where it was just like, is this what I want to do? And immediately the response was, yes, it is. No one said it was going to be easy. And no one said you were going to come in knowing everything about every field. That's not what learning is. You have to give yourself the grace to learn. And in that learning, you're not going to be the best. I always knew I'm not trying to be better than other people. I'm just trying to be better than what I was the day before. I'm not entitled to anything. I work for everything. So, and I was blessed in that I had patient professors who knew straight up, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what you're doing. So I'm living in your office hours. And that was something else homeschooling taught me. My mom taught me through homeschooling was make sure you have all of your questions. So do the research and make sure that you learn as much as you can. And then you come to them with what you absolutely have no idea about. And it's not that you can't, but I found that in doing so, I was able to work through the process myself of being like, okay, this is the limit of my current knowledge. This is the limit of my current research. What am I missing here? And my professor, I had her for theory. I had her for my private piano lessons as well. So what was cool was she incorporated what I didn't know in my theory class into my piano lessons. So I could see it actually work. Like, I was like, oh, that's why they did that. Oh, why didn't you just say that? And then my friends that I made, we would make study groups. Well, I made the study groups and invited them because I'm like she said, we're all in the same boat. Let's ace this together. And then after a while, it just became a thing that we all just knew we were going to do. So I had never a problem asking for help. I just always knew, like, okay, let me just study first. Just like with homeschooling, let me study first, and then let's see where that takes us.
Nice. I love that. I love like that you're, able to associate that foundation with how you were able to handle college, basically. So that's beautiful. You mentioned your stubbornness early on. What was that hold up with? Like, what did that come into play?
That came into play day one. Like that placement exam. Because here again, it was really just, I was not going to leave. And that showed up in many areas. But it was more a matter of, it's a goal that I know I want to reach. And these are just the requirements of meeting that goal. And these are requirements that many other people have taken. Many other people have done it well. And this is just my turn. So I'm like, I'm not just going to give up on my turn. So it showed up in theory class. It showed up in ear training, which was, I will say, was harder for me because I'm classically trained. So I live in sheet music, and ear training is the exact opposite. You are literally listening to something and you have to say what it is. So if you hear a minor third, what does that sound like? And so
I can tell you.
I always associate it with other songs. Other people do as well. These are things that are really standards. But here again, I didn't grow up with it, so I didn't know. So minor, a major third sounds like the beginning of For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. A perfect fifth sounds, at least a perfect fifth ascending going up, sounds like the beginning of Star Wars. So these are things I had to I kept a running track of songs in my head. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. That's what that is. So, but that was another time where the stubbornness helped. And I think the biggest one actually was when I had to graduate. To graduate with your degree, my degree is piano pedagogy and performance. So I had to perform an hours long worth of memorized music.
What?
Yeah.
An hour?
Yes. And I can only have one intermission, and the intermissions maybe, I think it was 10 minutes long. That's all they gave us.
Does that take away from the hour? Look, it
does.
Does it make it 50 minutes then?
It does.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh.
But looking back, I was so nervous. It was exciting, but it was nerve-wracking. My brother and sister, they were backstage with me. They were the most fun part of the whole performance, really. And I remember when I was on stage, my first piece, I couldn't remember the ending of. And I was supposed to bow and leave the stage. But instead, because I didn't remember the ending, I sat there for a moment or two, and I'm like, I'm not leaving until I go to my next piece. Because I'm not leaving that as the air of my recital. And so I paused for a moment, and then I went right into my second piece, which was a Beethoven piece. And I completely finished that one, and I went backstage, and my siblings were like, "You did great." I'm like, "Thank you." And my professor, after the whole concert was over, she was very proud of me for not leaving. And we discussed it in our classes later. She's like, a lot of performers, when they leave, a lot of times, depending on the personality, they don't go back. And I would have been that person if I left the stage. Because I know me, I know how I think. And I wouldn't have come back. And that stubbornness was like, no, you're staying, and you're going to do the next piece. You're going to do well. You're going to go back, and you're going to do everything you rehearsed. So it was that stubbornness. And it served well. But I can't take that credit for that, because I'm blessed to have a fantastic support system of, again, my siblings, my family, my friends, and they were all there to root for me. They were my professor, the one that gave me the placement exam. She was from another, I went to community college first. She was the one that I invited, her and another professor from there. And they came to my recital. So I was blessed to have them. And I'm like, no, this is a thank you really to everybody. And I wasn't going to allow my nervousness to taint my thankfulness to everybody. And that's what that was. So it wasn't just like, okay, this is what I need to do to graduate. I really wanted it to be a thank you. And I'm glad that they came. It was so much fun. My childhood piano teacher was there. So yeah, it's why, like I said, I can't take the credit for that, because I wanted to let them know through my music how thankful I was for everyone that came. And that was a part of my life. So yeah.
That's beautiful. And that's what I was going to point out, your support. I love that your siblings were backstage with you, rooting you on, telling you how good you did. Do they play instruments?
They do, yes. My brother is a violinist. My sister is a pianist, and she's also music tech. So we're all, we do different things, but we all grew up in music.
Nice. Okay. How do you think homeschooling helped y'all relationship? Do you how, because it seems like y'all are pretty tight knit.
I think that's just us. I really don't. That's a great question. I think that's just us. Yeah. like, that was a good question. I really am not too sure.
Well, no, I mean, because you said, and I feel like, because my girls they're thick as thieves, okay, and they have a 3-year age gap. But also, like, I made it a point to really be intentional about their relationship early on and making sure that they knew that they were each other's best friend first, and that, hey, this is who's going to be with you no matter who else you make friends with and all this stuff. I just was always really big about that. But I feel like a lot of times when kids go to public school or and it doesn't even necessarily have to be that they're going to public school, it's the things that they watch. If you look at, because you say y'all didn't watch a lot of things, and the hours that you did get on the weekend wasn't that many, but a lot of shows depict siblings going at each other, like being mean to each other, especially little ones, like get out of here, like, oh no, you can't hang with us, me and my friends and all this stuff. And me and my sisters, our relationship's not like that, like, at all, but we're good, like, we're okay. A couple of them, I have 4 sisters. A couple of them like me still, but then the other ones, like, yeah, but that's a whole nother family dynamic, girl. We all need therapy. But I'm saying, do you think that not seeing that and not having that programming may have helped and contributed? Or you feel like your parents kind of made sure that y'all were good? Or, like, how do you feel like that dynamic was, like, crafted?
Oh, I think it was a mixture of all of that. But I definitely lean into the exposure. Because what we did watch, our parents let us know, like, what was appropriate, what wasn't. So the things that I grew up watching and I enjoyed, even now I still enjoy it. Even it might be nostalgia, but I genuinely just enjoy watching them. And I loved Pooh Bear growing up. Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, while there's, of course, it's violent, but musically that was great. We, like, what we did watch, I will say this, I know was influenced by my parents, but I love mysteries. My dad introduced me to Bonanza, so I love Bonanza. My mom introduced me to, like, Columbo and Rockford Files. I genuinely love those shows. And The Cosby Show. So we did watch TV, but it was either like there were current shows that we watched, but most of the programming we watched were things our parents grew up with and that they knew that was appropriate. And like you said, not as divisive in terms of siblings. Mm-hmm. So, and we played together. So nice. That's also, like, it's like anything, I think. You can be in any environment and have relationships, but once you learn, like, who this person is, that's what really grows the character. So you learn what people like, what people don't like, and you don't want to do anything intentional to hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think that way, in terms of, like, our parents knew what we were watching, what we were involved with. And, as parents, like, kids' brains are still forming. So it's like, hey, let's put on something that, okay, may be older, but we know what it is. So, yeah, that way, I think that helps as well.
Nice. Was there any time that you wanted to go to public school?
Actually, no.
Really?
My mom had, I know of one time in particular where we visited a cousin for the day and we had lunch with them at his school's cafeteria. And ironically, I'm in music. I didn't like all the loud sounds. So I think music's more of a controlled loudness, and that loudness just never appealed to me. Even in our other homeschool groups, it was loud, but it wasn't that kind of loud. So it did not appeal to me. And my mom like blatantly asked, like, "Hey, would you like to go?" And I was like, "No, no, thank you."
That's my youngest girl. She's like, I'm good on all that. It's like, I gotta wake up early. No, I'm good. I'm okay. And like, I don't want to do that. But my oldest, I think she still kind of teeters the fence. But after I told her that we can have her own, like I can throw her a prom, we can, throw these events that she wants to have experiences for. Then she kind of adapted to, okay, we can do this all the way through. So
there you
that's
go.
what we got right now. I know, right? I know. I'm trying. I'm gonna have her listen to this interview too.
There we go. Yeah, the church we went to, they had homeschool groups where they had proms for us. So both of my proms, my brother took me to, and it was so much fun. To your daughter, you will have fun. You will enjoy it.
There you go. Look, message. You hear that? Nice. Okay, so with this experience, with all that you love about music and being a pianist, you developed and create or have started an whole music school. Is it just piano focused or is it all instruments?
Right now it's piano focused because I'm the main teacher at the moment.
Okay.
But once we grow, my goal is to have other teachers in other instruments and fields, because I really want this to be a holistic experience. Like I said, I don't think a lot of parents or even just musicians know what's all being asked of them. Not just in the field of academia, like if they're going to take their passion into getting a degree, but I don't know if people know what's required of them, at least at an early stage, what's required of just doing this, because it's great to have a degree. I wholeheartedly agree that you should have a degree in the field that you love, but it's obvious not every person in music, I'll speak for, has a degree. So for my online school, I want to make sure that whatever they choose, that whether they decide to take the route of going into college, but also they, at least parents know, this is what's required of your student. How do you make a holistic person in this field of music, so they can perform, but I want to give them more opportunities to perform, because just because you're in music doesn't take away that I'm nervous on stage. Mm-hmm. What does that is the constant ability to perform. So we have to give them opportunities to do so. And you'd be surprised, there's very little outside of the occasional two recitals in a year for students. And that's why they're so nervous. What if they're wanting to learn the back end of music, the music theory, the ear training? You have to buy so many things to do that. And parents are like having to weigh, is this a good curriculum? Is this a good curriculum? Because while all the curriculums are good and they're very valid in what they bring, but there are some that's like, okay, if I get this one, it's missing this concept, or it's not leaned into enough, versus another one. So in my conservatory online that I'm making, is I want to be able to fill those holes for parents and students before they're like me and they get to college and like, question, what is this? Because with my friends who did take pre-theory, they were surprised how much they were lacking and they were missing as well. So it wasn't just a me thing. It was all of us. It's just there are holes in our music education system as a total. So that's what I'm looking to bridge for them. And really bring back just the joy of learning music. Because I think we get bogged down in the curriculums, which again, I can't say it enough, they're valid and they're very good. But I think as we dive into the curriculums, the love of music gets lost for the student because they come in like everybody else wanting to really learn the piece that they enjoy. They heard something, they're like, I feel inspired, I want to play it. And then they get these books, which again, you have to learn, but if they see no light at the end of the tunnel and they just see books upon books upon books, they kind of lose that. So I tell my current students, this is like a video game. You have to learn the basics. It's going to be rough. It's not going to sound great. But what is your favorite song? A lot of my students either want to play K-pop, they want to play video game themes, they want to play classical, they want to play anime. I meet them where they are. I'm like, okay, that's our first goal piece. Once we learn enough of the foundation, not to say you've learned everything, but this is the goal we're aiming for. This is your level 1. And if you still like this song after level 1, we can find a harder arrangement while you're still learning in the curriculum books. So they get a sense of, this is kind of inspired by what my mom taught me. Like, the choices you make, we're going to meet them. We're not just going to bounce around, but you have hope, you have a light, you have the song you want to learn. Not just, okay, after 20 books, now I can finally start what I really want to learn. Right. So that's really the inspiration of me starting my school.
Nice. So you cover the history, the theory, the musical concepts of that nature also, so that they are prepared in the long run, no matter what direction they go in.
Exactly.
Okay.
I also... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, love. Go ahead.
I try to make sure that what I learned in university, I bring to them no matter how young they are. So if they're literally learning their ABCs, they're learning their ABCs on the piano. If they know a little bit of piano, I meet them where they are with that, and we grow from there, whether it's private lessons or group classes.
Nice. And that's what I was going to ask. You said, so you go young, because I was going to ask, what age groups do you work with? So you go to the babies.
Right now, my youngest students are 6.
Okay.
My youngest students are 6.
Those are babies, girl. They babies.
Fair. And I go, it's essentially K through 12. K through 12 learning in music. So it's interesting that as musicians, we get the... like what you mentioned earlier, like, okay, I started at 4, but not every musician starts that young. And I've heard all my life, like, you were a prodigy because you started so young. And I'm like, no, I worked hard.
This takes work. Like, no, this is not what you think it is. Please understand.
And I really do think there's a misconception of prodigies and hard work. Not that prodigies don't exist. They very much do exist. But I think they're overshadowed. The hard workers are overshadowed.
Okay.
Because not to get philosophical, but it comes down to nature and nurture. Like, if you look up prodigies, like piano prodigies, music prodigies, tons of names will come up, but 2 polarizing figures come up. One being Mozart, this guy here, and Beethoven. And when you really look at their life, Mozart, I will say he was a prodigy. But he was a prodigy nurtured in an environment that allowed him to. His dad was a famous composer and performer as well. And he taught him how to do these things. Beethoven, some people will say he was a prodigy. I think bruh worked hard. And there's a famous quote by him too. Someone asked him, how do we become Beethoven? And he's like, no, you dive into the work that you love, and you find every secret it has to offer, and you make that come alive. And I think that's overshadowed because so many of his works, he worked hard. We have manuscripts of his work where he scratched things out and he didn't think was good enough. Like Moonlight Sonata, one of the most famous classical pieces. When the internet first came online, it was the first thing on the internet. We shot a ton of music into space. That was one of them. And this man actually said when he was alive that wasn't a piece he wanted sold. He couldn't afford his rent. His brother and his manager's like, this is a great piece. He said, no, this was an assignment for a student that he wrote. This was not a piece that was up to his standards. So it's amazing that we look at him and say, you are a prodigy, but we don't say adult prodigies. We say they're hard workers, but he was always a hard worker. Like even outside of music, Michael Jordan said, everyone wants to be me, but no one wants to work like me. Mm-hmm. So, same like with Muhammad Ali, like there's so many people that worked hard, and we'll say it was luck or
natural. They think it's natural abilities. Yeah.
But these people worked hard, and that's what really set them apart. And so I tell my students all the time, if you work like them, you will surpass your dreams. So I always try and tell them, like, give them hope, like, no, you don't have to be a prodigy. People will describe you as a prodigy, and that's fine. But I want to instill like hard work and like whatever they believe, if they really work for it, they'll see their own, like, they'll see their own success.
Nice. And I'm glad you pointed out that man on the wall, because, girl, our show was like, what's she doing with George Washington on the wall? So that's Mozart. Okay.
That's Mozart.
But I say because I ain't got my glasses on, but I definitely still would have probably thought it was Washington. I don't know. I feel like he used to wear his hair like that. I don't know. But I'm silly. But okay, so you work with K through 12. Yes. This is on their leisure, like as far as scheduling times, they contact you or go on your website and they book the times that work for them, or how does it work as far as how often you all work together and things of that nature?
So for our group classes right now, they are in the morning. So parents would just go to either my website or my OutSchool page, and they will see like, okay, I see a section at 9:30 and it'll be 30 minutes. So they'll click on that on the day that they prefer. And the particular group class that I have right now, it's the class is 8 weeks long, kind of like a summer camp.
Okay.
So for 8 weeks, we'll meet at, for example, 9:30 for 30 minutes once a week rather. And students from there will learn, they'll get a taste of what the foundation of piano is. So in that particular class, we would learn keyboard geography, how to find the notes on the keyboard. We'd learn rhythms. We'd play musical games. And we get a chance, and we get a chance to work together. So for students, I liked for them to work together because it gives them a chance to be like, okay, if I see I want to accompany someone or have a duet with someone, this is how we work together. Also give them chances to perform. So a piano lab where we listen to a student play and we encourage that student, but also give them tips how to be better. Not just me, because students can listen to their teachers, but they're much more open to listening to their peers and their friends. So giving them a chance to receive, and for their friends and classmates to be like, hey, I liked this. Maybe you could maybe you can make this sound bigger. Maybe you can make it sound smaller. Give them a chance to form how they can help in terms of their feedback. So that's some of the things that we'll do in our group class.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you have the group options. You have individual one-on-one sessions.
Yes, I do. So there are private lessons. Right now, they're pretty much full, but I change them every semester, so every 3 months. So families are like, if they would prefer a private lesson, say they do well in the group classes and they move over to my private lessons, to always just check every 3 months when things change. And there will be in the future also flex classes. So pre-recorded lessons that they'll see me in my VTube character. And I'll be available if they have questions, and I'll answer them live in the OutSchool Messenger.
Okay. And the group sessions, are they skill-based? Like, is it beginner, intermediate, advanced type deal? Or is it like, how does that work for families?
So they are they are skill-based. So level 1 deals with very, very beginners. And there'll be multiple levels of that. And then there'll be another section for intermediate and advanced. Now, I do find for my for advanced students, group classes work well more in a performance lab sort of deal. So they work with me either in a private lesson, but in a group lesson, we really work on performance techniques. So really diving into, this is your performance persona. This is how we play pieces to really touch people to like a full musicianship kind of thing. Like we go into the psychology of music. Like, why do we cry in this part? Why do we want them to cry in this part? Not to make it sound scary, but music really is a language of the soul. So it's like,
yes, ma'am.
Why do we feel anything? In terms of piano, it's a wordless language. We're not singing. So there's no wind, so we can't even rely on a wind instrument. How do we do that? So that's what we cover in the more advanced group classes. It's more of a performance lab. But like I said, I try and apply performance labs in every level, because we don't want to just save it for the advanced and wonder why they're so nervous. Everyone as people get nervous. So I apply it in every group. So the little ones really know, okay, this is what Miss Kathryn's talking about. And they're more and more involved with that. I have 2 students in particular, because we do that so much. If they see a rando piano somewhere, they're touching it and they are playing it. Now, I will tell them, like, you should be careful. This is a public piano. I don't know when it was last cleaned or if it sounds great. That's my only hesitation, is the cleanliness. But I love their enthusiasm, that they're not afraid to go up in any place. Both of these students travel a lot, and they are playing in other countries just live for fun, and they enjoy it. And that's my whole point of teaching, to really foster that with all of my students.
Yes, girl, I touch pianos and I only know one song, Connie. I know "Lean on Me" with the 4 keys over on the left hand side. Can't even tell you what they are, but I know. Look, I know those. And anytime I'm around a piano, I'm like, hey, got a song for you.
Here we go.
So I totally understand. I used to DJ, so I do the same thing when I see DJ equipment. I always go, I gotta touch it. I look at it. I just want to see. But I love that. I love that you are fostering that confidence in these young people and letting them know, hey, your music is worth listening to. Own it. Like, know it, show it. Like, that's a big thing. The big thing. So, okay, Kathryn. Understand that all her links will be available in the description. I got 2 more questions for you before I let you go.
Sure.
1, with all that you do and all the music you make and everything that you have learned along your homeschooling journey, because I got to throw that in there all the time, like you're a homeschool graduate. How do you self-care? How do you make sure that Kathryn is taken care of?
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Every week, I have one day off where I just go out and enjoy the day. Like carpe diem, seize the day, just enjoy things. And personally, I read a lot. I love reading. I do. Like, if I see a title that I'm interested in, that's what I'm going to do. I love like a good movie with fantastic soundtracks. So I also absolutely love operas. That was something I loved. Right. That I didn't know I liked until college. So I will watch an opera, not as much as I used to watch one every week. But I will definitely try and watch one once a month, whether it's like on YouTube or, YouTube or my university locally. They put one on. I haven't had a chance recently to go there, but they have great live performances. So if it's a sweet treat, it's an opera. Nice. I will even go back to Looney Tunes and watch What's Opera Doc. They did a great description of what at least a Wagner opera is. It's the first musical medium. In terms of media, that's how a lot of things were portrayed, and they were great. So I love exposing that as well to my students. Like, hey, have you tried it? They're like, isn't that where people scream at each other in another language? And I'm like, but they do it beautifully.
But it's so beautiful. So well crafted. Yeah.
It's true. So that is something, those are different things that I do for self-care to round it back to your question. Good operas, a good book, and just enjoying the day and enjoying just being out and about with people that I love.
Nice. I love that. All right. And if our listeners didn't hear anything else, what's 3 things you want them to take away from this conversation?
The first thing is to go back to your passions and try them out. Try them out and dive into their secrets. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be music, but I want you to try it out, not just as students, but as parents. The second thing is homeschooling is thriving and you can't do it wrong. And the third thing is I would highly advise people to try things that they don't know if they like yet. So those are the 3 things that I would say.
Those are all good. Those are all real good. I like them. I liked all of them.
Thank you.
I don't even have to add anything. You know what I'm going to say. Homeschool your kids.